at this time. Now coming up on the 2-minute mark. T-minus 2 minutes and counting. T-minus 2. Not as much reports now on the communication circuits as everybody stands by monitoring the various consoles and watching the various parameters to ensure everything is okay. T-minus 1 hour, 1 minute, 43 seconds and counting. We are still proceeding.
And just at this moment, a great gust of wind sweeps our press camp here.
In our countdown. Mark, T-minus 90 seconds and counting. T-minus 90. We have conditioned the liquid oxygen in the first stage of the Saturn launch vehicle. All tanks in the 2 stages now pressurizing. Most of the work over these final several minutes concerned with the launch vehicle directed by the test conductor, Donn. 1 minute, 10 seconds and counting. We still are go at this time. Coming up on 1 minute. Mark, T-minus 60 seconds and counting. We are go for Apollo 7 at this time.
This is the first manned test of the Saturn 1B.
Now pressurized, and the vehicle is go, as is the spacecraft at this time.
First American 3-man flight.
T-minus 40 seconds and counting.
The first step in our final series of
from here in the block touch
to get American on the moon by the end of 1969.
30 seconds and counting. We'll get ignition of those 8 engines in the first stage at the 3-second mark in the countdown. Now T-minus 21 seconds and counting. We have completed our power transfer. The Saturn 1B launch vehicle, which now weighs 1.3 million pounds, is ready to go. Coming up on the 10-second mark. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. We have ignition. Commit liftoff. We have liftoff.
Slowly.
This is launch control. We have cleared the tower.
Clear. 5 seconds when that sound reaches.
Roll program has commenced.
A beauty of absolute mountain sky. As scheduled. That was good. Up here it looks fine. Straight and true on its course. Got a good view of it there with our long-range camera. Schirra, Donn, Eisele, Walter Cunningham, the latter 2 making their first space flight. Walter Schirra, his 3rd, riding that
1 minute, 20 seconds into the flight.
big spacecraft.
And in the air.
The voice is now mission control changed from Jack King to
1
Paul Haney
minute,
at
40
Houston.
seconds.
They've gone through maximum dynamic pressure.
Flight director asked the flight dynamics officer if he likes it, and he says, yes, sir, it looks good.
Look at the flame. 700 gallons of RP1 and liquid oxidizer burning up there every second. That thing developing 1,600,000.
Coming up on 2 minutes, Mark, 2 minutes. We're having a status check. Apollo 7 has been given a go for staging.
Go for staging, the separation of that first stage. That comes in about
2 minutes,
10 minutes, 10 seconds from now. That's the first critical point after liftoff.
Inboard engines have shut down.
And they're staging.
Outboard engines have shut down. Schirra called both events. He's got ignition, and he says we're up to thrust on the 2nd stage.
That is our Igor
The thrust
long-range
is
camera.
okay at 2 minutes, 40 seconds into the flight.
So the 15th consecutive successful flight of the
Well, it is all
Saturn
beautiful.
1B.
That tower has really jettisoned. It's went way out. We're nearly 50 miles altitude now and about 60 miles downrange.
You see the escape tower tumbling up there in the upper
3
left-hand
minutes,
side of the
5
screen.
seconds into the flight.
He got the separation plan from the first section, and the
Schirra
second
just
stage has ignited.
Capcom here in Houston, a very clean voice communication today. 3 minutes, 25 seconds into the flight.
This is the best view we've ever had from our magnificent Igor camera.
Trajectory and guidance. Give another go here. Well,
Of course,
it is a little bumpy on the second stage, a little bumpy. But we can't hear any complaints. 70 miles altitude and about 120 miles downrange.
This second stage burns until 10 minutes and 15 seconds into the flight. Another 6 minutes. That's a 225,000
10 seconds into the flight.
pound thrust engine.
Schirra says the gimbal check looked very good. And his observation is the 1G stuff is great. Apparently the G loads were quite low.
That means
We've been monitoring Schirra's heart rate because that's the only physical parameter we have coming through, and it at launch and through the early stages ran about 90 to 92 beats. 4 minutes, 50 seconds into the flight. The flight director is polling all his stations here and is getting enthusiastic goes at every console. 5 minutes into the flight. And we've heard from Donn Eisele. He reported the spacecraft guidance go. 90 miles altitude now.
Bill Stout out there in Donn Eisele. He's monitoring some of these instruments, and is Cunningham monitoring some too?
5 minutes and 25
Dick,
seconds into the flight.
Can you tell us, would Eisele and Cunningham both be watching instruments, or is that one man's job?
Right. Cunningham would be watching most of the spacecraft status gauges,
Exactly.
and Donn Eisele would be looking at the information being displayed on the computer here, such as altitude, what his velocity is, and his launch parameters.
Wally says she's riding like a dream at 5 minutes, 58 seconds into the flight.
It certainly sounds as though no one has had anything to complain about yet. All the words back from the
6 minutes.
spacecraft are gleeful, delighted, smooth, pleasant, and so forth. What would that look like here? Would there be any instrument, going back to what Schirra said, a little bumpy in the second stage? How would you have seen that on your display?
Well, I think he probably could have seen this off his attitude indicator here.